Good morning, my little chicken chokers. You're gonna have to excuse me. I am ill as hell. It was not part of the plan. Lemsip with honey in it, awesome. Not having any sleep and running a temperature, not so awesome. In fact, I'd go as far as to say that that's just generally quite bad. Voyalog part 3. What have you been doing? So, I am now, just to show you very quickly without blowing anything up, I am now running proper power. 12 volts. Everything, I've been and spoken to the guy at the shop. Everything is resisted properly. I have also bought crocodile clips and made myself some crocodile clip love. So now I can power stuff without using wretched Smegan batteries, which is great. I do have some resistor issues currently, which is just time and patience. So I'm having to put that together. So if I use batteries and the 12 volt power, and I take the other half of this, and you may have seen the photos already, but I'm very pleased and slightly proud because I now have warp engines. Not sure how well this is coming up. It's really distinct with the glow in there at the moment. But I'm going to build... So that's that. And then on the top section of this, I've got Model Man Tom LED tape and a single LED. The LED is running a 190 ohm resistor. I have 2 of those to run. I'm going to turn it all off now, if you bear with me a moment. So, things are going quite well, aside from me being ill, because trying to do this with a temperature on a messy desk is driving me slowly insane. So today's priority, by a very, very long margin, is a tidy up. I've never ever been one to sit there and worry about what's going on what work surface and stuff like that. I've always just been spontaneous, shall we say, and just sort of got on with it. But on this occasion, it's not working. I've got to tidy up because every time I'm putting something down, I don't know where it is in 5 minutes when I want it again. And bearing in mind I'm dealing with hot stuff that specifically requires me being poised and ready to rock when I need to rock it, then I'm not, which isn't good. Today I have to put Voyager's arse together. I've got back end, I've got pylons, which, because of the glory that is Dad's shed, so I've chopped holes in there so that the wires can go through, and those holes I've got to drill just underneath that little lip there, drill holes for the wires to come through so the pylons can go up. I'm not quite sure which way up these are supposed to go. I think those thrusters go underneath, and then the intakes for the impulse engines go on top. Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, as you can see it, this will be the top. So I'm going to drill tiny holes just enough underneath there to let 4 of the wires through, so you can still change the angle of the warp engines. Again, this is going to be dry fit Saturday, provided I feel better, because I'm already feeling quite poo. Yeah, dry fit Saturday. What I've done here is Model Man Tom tape, 9 of. Could have done more, actually. Could have had a longer piece of blue. However, with my moderate soldering skills and that sort of thing, and using heat shrink to stop the 2 touching so nothing fucks out, and I have used arrow dye, I've used epoxy, and glued the top of that in there, and I've glued the wire down either side. The reason I did that is because now, using just CA or spot glue or something like that, I can run this wire around the outside and make sure that none of the wire is going to be in the eye shot of the window coming through there for the warp engine. So I've got a couple of things I'm going to try. I'm going to try ripping up loads of bits of cotton wool bud and sticking it in there and just putting the engines together. I'm going to try cutting rectangles of the stuff that milk cartons are made of, plastic milk bottles are made out of, because that's sort of frosted white. I'm just going to try, which I think will be quite good fun, just sort of trying new things and seeing how they work. I got to do a couple of thank yous. First of all, thank you to the guy at Maplins, and for those of you Yanks, Maplins is just an electronics store over here. It's like Radio Shack. I think I actually bought out Radio Shack and became what they were. But the guy at Maplins has been so ultimately completely invaluable with help that I wouldn't have even bothered starting this project unless he had sort of given me some advice, because I've now got the 12 volt power pack. I've now got enough to run 2 lines off 1 switch, which basically means when I plug her in, because I've got a second one of these, which is I'm going to mount inside Voyager on the secondary hull and use that as the power to power the light. So when I lift her off the stand, she's going to power down. The other thank you that I have to make is Grendel's from Scale Model Addict, who every time I ask a question just comes running to my aid, and I'm not quite sure why. You are the patron saint of that website. I don't know if it's your website. I know I do watch the Scale Model Addict for videos, YouTube videos. You're just helpful and I appreciate it. I have been on another website that wasn't quite so helpful. You are supremely helpful. Thank you very much. That's it. I might do some more bits and bobs as we go along. I'm very, very stubbly because it's Movember and I'm growing a tash. But yeah, next job is to tidy the desk, chuck away. I've got my rubbish bin. On Grendel's advice, I bought that, and that's now only being used for stuff that is absolutely badass, because if I'm not using, I've got another one, normal every day. It's a 60 watt, it's probably a little bit more than I want, but it seems to be working fine. It's not blown up anything yet. I can solder the Model Man LED tape close to one of the resistors, and it all still works, it doesn't blow up. SMS number 1, dying on my ass of malicious plague. Be back soon. Be back soon. Big up your bad selves. Right, it's a little bit of a continuation from the video diary. I did tidy the desk up, and then this happened again. It all happened so quickly. Okay, so empty side, the bottom side. So my plan is to connect the top up. I don't know. It is all work in progress, but I've tried a couple of different ways of diffusing the light inside, and generally it's gone fairly well. But at someone's request, and I got to trek back to who it was, and if it was you, please scream, because on SMA someone said this might work, and it did. That is the white plastic from a plastic milk carton, and if you do that, it disperses light. So what I've done is just warmed this in some hot water, take that to the bottom and just let it sort of flap so it sits at its own grace. Okay, that seems to have worked fairly well. It literally is just chopped and just so it's just tickling along the line at the top. It might look quite kind of crappy, but when you put that on the top, like, nope, it's in there somewhere. Don't you hate it when you can't get it in the hole first time? There. So that is, and I'm looking through the viewfinder now, diffused it. I don't think you'll find any extra glow on there at all. Now if I tilt that up, you can see 5 spots. So what I've also done is chopped myself somewhere where I've put it down. That. Okay. So I'm going to put that on there with some in fact I'm going to do it now. Let's just see how it works. I've got some double-sided tape. You've got a rough side and you've got a smooth side. Let's just make sure we get this the right way round. So I'm going to put that on there. It's just ordinary everyday double-sided tape. It means that if anything doesn't work, then I can rip it all off and start again. Okay, so then I take that, I take my engine, I just sort of tuck all of that underneath a little bit, because this is all bonded down now, so Well, I've missed one. 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 There we go. So get that right up. Oh, son of a bitch. Doesn't have to be in there perfect. Just got to do that. That's enough to diffuse that light slightly. So you take some slightly diffused light. Don't know if I'm doing all this on camera or what, but if you take some moderately diffused light, connect that back up, connect that front up. You take the two different diffusion sources, and we end up with one blue warp nacelle. And there you go. So you've got a red tip, which I need to do some light blocking on, and I need to diffuse this at the same time. So I'm going to use some more of this stuff and just do a loop over in the front there to diffuse all that red light as well. But yeah, as far as results go, this is now not sitting together particularly well, so I'm going to have to glue the back, sculpt and sort of mould that, then glue the front and sculpt and sort of mould that and hold it together, and it's going to take a little while to get these together properly. However, that I'm very, very pleased with as a finished warp nacelle. Cool. Progress report. Loving every second of it, feeling much better, so fingers crossed I'll be able to get some real work done. I've also done all of the smoothing work on the bottom of the secondary hull. So now I've made a separate bit to go in here, so I can put these, which I might redo because this is my initial go at soldering, and that's all black and shit on the inside. So I might redo two of those and put them on the back that's going to go behind the deflector dish. So hopefully by the end of the night I can have two warp nacelles. Now I know what I'm doing with that, then I can have two of those and a working deflector dish by the end of the evening, which would be superb. TTFM, big up.